That might pop wide open, Rats.
Kansas City Chiefs absolutely phenomenal.
And I was going to ask you this too. I love the NFL going abroad. I think it's an awesome thing. But my only thing is the London games. Yeah, you have to watch them usually at 10:30 in the morning or 9:30 in the morning for people on the East Coast, and then 9:30 for people in Central Time. Do you think the Chiefs should have maybe played the Broncos or an AFC West team in the Germany game because you're already going to watch them? Green Bay, because one of these worst teams, the Bears. Do you wish they would have played the Dolphins in Kansas City so you can hear 100,000 people boo the hell out of Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, this was three things they messed up on with this game. Okay, number one, you took the tailgate from us. Okay, you taking my job from me. All right, that's my niche. That's my bread and butter. You stole that from me. All right. Number two, you took a good storyline from us.
8:30 game,
backflip, all this kind of nonsense talk, and we damnly could have killed that, but now we can't. 7:30. What is wrong with that? And it's the that's the worst.
And my thing is, you're having Tyreek Hill. You had an opportunity of Tyreek Hill going back to Kansas City when he's calling them names I can't repeat on here about the Kansas City blanks.
It sounds like Chiefs.
Yeah, sounds like Chiefs. You guys can just replace with a Q. You guys can do the math. You had him kind of chirping all season long this whole time. Go back to Arrowhead, his former team, in the building where he won a Super Bowl, all that drama. And not only could you have done a Sunday night game with all that drama, but it is going to be 7:30 in the morning when half of America is not going to be watching this game, except for if you live in Miami and Kansas City.
Yeah, and to answer your question, you could have thrown the Jacksonville game. You could have made it the Chicago game. That would have been, because now you're going to have fans. Wait a minute, is the Chicago game is away, right?
Chicago game is at home.
More of that would have been the sacrifice. Nobody would have complained. A lot of season ticket holders are upset. You're taking a home game from and the ticket prices went up, and you took one of the best games.
Bears fans would travel for that. Packers fans would travel for that.
Yeah, that would have been a nice game. There are a lot of German Bear fans out there. I'm pretty sure. Who doesn't like a Bavarian pretzel? Everybody does. You get yourself a nice hot dog. It'd have been better for the Bears that way. No loss. This Miami game could have been epic. It could have been prime time type of a game, and you kind of took it. You stole it from us. It just don't feel justified. It's not. I get it, and as I told Brad, I said it's kind of poetic justice because he usually watches the game at 1 a.m. They're the ones
shout out
usually.
For again, before we can keep complaining as Americans, as some of our abroad listeners are looking at us like, you two need to shut your mouth. They have to sit
we always watch the game at 2 a.m.
2 a.m. or they have to watch it pre-recorded and turn their phone off for the whole night or the whole day, however it may be.
They have to
so I understand for our Chiefs fans abroad, where they have to stay up very, very late because it is a 6-hour time difference, especially if it's a night game. If it's a night game, they have to stay up till 4 in the morning.
4 in the morning.
To wait there to just watch their Kansas City Chiefs. So we do appreciate you, Chiefs fans abroad, because there are a lot of you over there. There are a lot of you over there. You just mentioned the Great British Chiefs Show. They have a lot of people over there.
Shout out to Brad and Tom, man.
Yeah, exactly. Great show over there. You guys should definitely go listen to them on Arrowhead Pride. But we're going to move on to the next game. And do you have the Chiefs win that game? I have the Chiefs winning that game.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty close game, but I have the Chiefs winning that game. Where's Tyreek Hill?
The jet lag alone is going to mess with Miami, let alone two of my break a hip getting out of that plane for all that 10-hour flight.
Right.
So yeah, I got us winning, but it's gonna probably be like a 10-point win. Like
right.
we'll get back on.
And then we hit the bye week. The Chiefs hit the bye week. We're gonna rattle off these next couple of games after the bye week real quick to wrap up the show here soon. After the bye week, and I think this is awesome they did it after the bye week because we all know Andy Reid's record after the bye is very, very good. I don't know if you happen to know the team they play after the bye on Monday Night Football is the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles. They play on Monday night. And I am, when I first looked at the schedule, if I'm being honest with you, I had the Chiefs. This was going to be their second loss for me. But then I got to thinking, I said, wait now, Jaden. You read off of a bye week and it's his former team?
Yeah.
Jaden, I don't think the Chiefs lose this game because they're going from being in Germany and on that Sunday and having that 10 days off until Monday. Then they get to go play it's almost 2 weeks really. And then they get to go play the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football in Kansas City. In Kansas City. How do you think this game is going to be? I think this is going to be an electric game that I probably need to make my way out to Arrowhead to go see.
You might have to. We might have to even collabo.
And I've never been to a game at Arrowhead, which is very sad.
We might have to collabo on this one, man. Because
I've been a Chiefs fan my whole life, and I've never been to a game at Arrowhead, which is very, very sad.
There is, if anybody here watches my videos, there is nothing better than a Chiefs tailgate with a game that's so massive.
The barbecue and the smell.
It's like a whole nother world. Right. And I can tell you, this game, everybody's going to be out there. It's going to be, hopefully it's going to be nice, depending on weather. And in November, it gets really nice here in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. So there's a good chance of it get like a 70-degree day or something like that, especially in what time we have it. This game's going to probably be game of the year. At this point, if Philly can keep the momentum up from the Super Bowl and really hashtag revenge story they're going on, which that's a whole nother video in itself. This probably could be deemed game of the year. Probably like preview of the Super Bowl rematch.
Right.
Possible. I mean, I could see it. They have to make this game, especially if the Eagles do well and we keep this going. If both teams keep this momentum going, this probably be a real
the game of the year.
Yeah, game of the year. It could
be. And I again, that's one of those games where again the Chiefs after the bye week, regardless. Of course, you go into that game confidence because of Andy Reid and his preparation. But this isn't a game I go in as just a cocky Chiefs fan like we do against the Broncos or against even how confident I am versus the Dolphins. This is a game where I can sit there and if they lose, I say the Eagles are a great team. They have a great team, great players over there. Of course, I'll be pissed, but again, these are two really, really good teams that want to both beat each other. The Chiefs want to prove to all the people out there that said it was rigged, the Chiefs cheated, or the refs had their back, it wasn't pass interference. All that hearsay and bull crap. The Chiefs are going to sit there and say, we want to beat them into the ground. So there's absolutely no excuses. And the Eagles want to go in there saying that we screwed up. We had that game in the bag and we didn't play any defense in the second half and we want to win that game. So I think this is going to be a good game. I think this is a game where the Jalen Hurts and those Eagles actually do get it at the end of the game. And Chris Jones and them boys come up big at the end of the game and they get that stop to win the game. And I have the Chiefs winning by 4 points. I think it's one of those weird games where it's a 4 or 5 point win. But the Chiefs with a walk-off sack or something like that, I think it's going to be an electric game. But I have the Chiefs winning that just because of Andy Reid's track record after the bye. How do you have that game shaping up?
Actually, I have that game by 7. I think we're going to do this weird. Like, I'm actually going to accentuate what you said about defense. Jump that a little bit. I think Karvlakis has a year under his belt, Super Bowl in his hand. He's a little more experienced. B.J. Thompson's going to be a beast, coming up the way. I think Chris Jones is so seasoned that at this point he knows blindfold how to deal with pretty much any offensive tackle. So I kind of see this as a 7-point game. A hard fought 7-point game though.
And how do you feel about Felix and GK Uzama joining that crew against an offensive line like the Eagles?
I think it was a brilliant idea. I have a little saying that I usually hashtag on my Twitter account. I usually go, in Veach we trust.
Right. Absolutely.
Because when he drafts, he doesn't draft to make the crowd happy. One thing I've loved about him is he never does this to make the crowd happy. A lot of GMs we've had in our history, they'll do these pickups just to be like, oh, look what we got. Oh, look what we got. Like everybody wanted D-Hop. Like that's not Veach's style. He's not going to do that.
He's not going to get a 32-year-old. I agree.
Yeah, he's not going to do that to make y'all happy. He's going to do it if it's the best decision for the team. That's why he picked up Juju. He didn't pick up Juju to make everybody go, oh, we could win it. He's like, no, Juju is the best guy for what we're trying to run as an offense. This is what we're doing, And out of the 7 picks of the draft, 5 of them were defensive because he knew we were going to lose some defensive power this season. I mean, because look at it. So, we lost Saunders. We lost a few other people.
Right.
So I feel it's gonna be a hard fall 7. There's gonna be those ones where that Mahomes magic that everybody hates. This is the one.
Yeah, I agree. I think this Monday night game, and I think it's perfect they did this on Monday night. So the Chiefs move on to being 9-1 with their only loss right now being to the Chargers, what we have in the 2023 Chiefs schedule. Then they play the Raiders week 12 and week 16. Do you think they can complete the season sweep on the Las Vegas Raiders? I almost said the Oakland Raiders. It'll always be the Oakland Raiders to me, but
at this point, what's the difference?
Not much. I think getting Jimmy G is a
Raiders
lateral
fans
move.
all the time. Raiders fans are like a bandit. Raiders fans deal with the team like a disappointing father. He just keeps coming and going, just coming and going. Hey son, I love you. I love you too. I gotta go get some milk. I'm going to LA. And he's like, I'm going to go get some cigarettes. Somehow you're in Oakland. No, this time I'm serious. I'm going to get diapers. Now you're in Vegas. Like, I don't know how you could be a Raiders fan. It's confusing. Your clothing will never match now and forever. If you're an LA fan, you can't throw those away. If you're an Oakland fan, you can't throw those away. You're a Vegas fan, why did you even buy that in the first place? Just buy an Oakland Raiders jersey. I don't know. It's the Raiders.
Yeah. So I think them trying to bring in a guy like Devontae Adams, and they thought that whole thing was going to work. I just don't think they've made very many moves. I don't think Josh McDaniels is that guy. There's a lot of things I think just go against the Raiders here. I think Jimmy G, he's a fine quarterback. He's similar to I don't even want to call him Alex Smith because Alex Smith was a very capable quarterback, but he's a guy who can win, but he's not a guy that can get it done. He's a guy that can win and get you the playoffs. If he has a good enough team around you, he can get you to even maybe a playoff win or two, but he's not going to win you a Super Bowl. And again, I think Jimmy G did a fine job with the 49ers the year too. Did a fine job. But I think him and Derek Carr, them going to Jimmy G, it's just a lateral move. A lateral move. Not a bad move. Not saying that they're going to be any worse or any better. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
You're not going to be any worse. You're not going to be any better. I think it's just a lateral move. I think they're a 6 to 7 win team. They're just a mid team.
You can't trust a team that has an owner who looks like a Batman villain. I'm just being honest, man.
You're not lying. He looks like Chucky. I mean, that haircut's
doesn't he? Like you spent $100 million on a coach you still don't have. Then you spent another $130 million on a wide receiver you shouldn't have bought. Then you get a quarterback because they went to college together. You think that's going to work out? It's not going to work out. You didn't get anything else. They do have Max. They have Crosby.
Max Crosby is a very good player.
To the life of me, I don't know why you're on that team. Max Crosby should have done everything in his power to be on our team. I wanted him to be on our team, but If he wants to keep losing like Patrick Peterson, that's his choice. He's an adult, you know. And
yeah,
no, I don't see them as a. They may be though. Maybe they'll surprise us. I doubt it.
I think
But
one game again. We play in week 12, week 6. I think that first game after that big Eagles game is a trap game.
yeah,
So that's the game where I think the Raiders at home could have a good game versus us. But I still think the Chiefs pulled that one out.
yeah,
Week 13, week 16. I think the Chiefs at home get the Raiders as well. So I think they get the season sweep against them.
yeah.
That leaves the Chiefs with 11-1 record. Then they play Green Bay week 13. What do you think about Green Bay?
Next,
Yeah, I think they beat Green Bay pretty convincing.
Where's that?
For me, I think the next loss for the Chiefs, just because for some reason in the regular season, this team plays them so well. And that's week 14, Bills at Kansas City. The Chiefs could have won that game just because they have had the success against the Chiefs. The Chiefs finally turned the tide.
Yeah,
But this is another game where I think the Chiefs could maybe fall to.
yeah,
Just because,
yeah.
again, the Bucs are, for some reason, it's always a good game, but the Chiefs in the regular season the Bills just have their number, but in the postseason, the Chiefs have their number.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about the Bills coming into Kansas City on a Week 14 game?
We all like to make fun of Josh Allen in the playoffs because he's kind of funny, right? You get all the hype through the season, and they love you. Everybody loves you. You play in the playoffs, you're terrible. But one thing we can say for sure, when it comes to the season, Josh Allen is pretty clean, especially against us.
Right.
He throws at least, 340, 330 on us every game.
Right.
Pretty damn good against us. They drafted all right. They didn't improve on the offensive line like they were gonna. But overall, man, that could be the one we lose. I mean, we're playing them at their house, yes?
No, they're coming back to Kansas City again.
There goes another game they turn on us. As soon as we lose Allen, change the reins of the best quarterback in the league.
And that's one of those things I think where it's one of those games for the Chiefs, because we see it time and time again where it's like they have that loss early in the season, like they always do, and they look bad, or if Bieniemy and Mahomes get into it or whatever, you see guys get into it. You see Chris Jones get into it with guys, and then they question the Chiefs. Oh, are they having locker room problems? And then we kind of go on a run, and then we have that other game late in the season, and then they're like, oh my God, are the Chiefs? Are they having problems? So I think that could be that game versus the Bills. I don't think the Bills come in and just like they did 2 years ago and mollywop the Chiefs. I think it's one of those things where it's like we need a third down stop with a minute left, and guess what? The Chiefs corners are still developing in some different ways, and they get that first down and they need it. So I think it's just one of those games where it's a back and forth battle, but sadly the Bills get it down at the end of the game. So that would put the Chiefs at only 2 losses by week 14.
Yeah.
Do you think that's truly possible for the Chiefs to be at 2 losses by week 14?
Yeah, 100%. Dealing with that team, yes. Being at home,
I think so.
You remember as well as I back in the day, playing here is still different. It's not like it's easy. It's not, it's not an easy feat beating us at home. Noise, player, coach, all those things are factors. But Josh Allen seems to overexert those factors every time he plays us. So, yeah, I could definitely see that as a loss. I can.
These next couple of games for me, we just already talked about the Raiders week 16, but week 15, Patriots, another Monday Night Football game. This is a weird one for me because I think there's 2 ways this game could happen. The Chiefs coming off a loss to the Bills, they're pissed off, they're angry, and now you have to go play Bill Belichick, and you think, oh my God, they're going to curb stomp this team. But then it's just like, it's Bill Belichick. So, like, is Bill Belichick really going to let the Chiefs come into Foxborough and just beat the brakes off them, or is it going to be one of those up and down sloppy games that the Chiefs end up just finally in the fourth quarter getting like a 10-point win? and then we kind of just sweep it under the rug? Or is it one of those games where the Chiefs do come out and just beat the brakes off of a team like the Patriots from that loss last week? How do you think this game versus the Patriots goes on a Monday Night Football?
Well, I would have agreed with you last season, maybe that Belichick still has that mind for the game. Honestly, I think Belichick's kind of tired.
Yeah.
Like, you could just really see the wear and tear of all the success, all the recent failure.
Right.
I think it's a lot for him. I think, honestly, my honest opinion, you can get that from me. I really think this is Belichick's last season. I don't see any fire from that old man. He's talking to people. You remember the Belichick we grew up with, he ain't talking to them.
Right.
He's a fine quarterback.
Yeah.
He's all right. I have nothing else to say. And he's talking now. That's a problem, man. When somebody who's so known for a certain thing breaks character, something's changed. And I think, regardless of who was better with who, I'm talking Brady, Belichick, whoever needed who, it don't matter. Both of them kind of see it toward the end that it's not the same. He's not the same. This is the same guy who let Mac Jones stay as his quarterback, and y'all won a game with him throwing 3 passes.
Yeah.
Dude, was that Belichick like 10 years ago? No.
No.
If you couldn't even step up to par to his ideal. Coach Belichick reminds me of Coach Bayou in that movie Waterboy. He ran 4 or 5, cut his butt. Looked at him out. He kind of fast. Nah, cut him. I'm good. He's not that dude anymore. You could just see he's kind of on cruise control right now. Yeah. He lost the spark. You had the fortunity to be in a division where all 3 of the teams when you were coaching were bad.
Really bad. Yeah.
And you took advantage of that for a whole 20 seasons. And nobody mad at you. Nobody hating on you. That's their owners of the other team's fault. I'm not going to get mad at the Patriots for taking advantage of when the Jets, Bills, and Dolphins were booty. But the times have eventually, me and you both know, just like how the Chiefs were bad for a very long time. The time eventually had to change for us not to be the butt of the joke no more. Just like the rest of that division. Now the Bills and the Patriots, and now the Jets are even better.
Yeah.
So I don't see us.
All 3 of those teams, I mean, it's a complete switch.
Yeah.
All 3 of those teams could easily win 10 to 11 games.
Let's put this in perspective. For the first time in a long time, Belichick actually might end up 4th in the division. Yeah. This may be the year where it's time for it. Or he's just
and again, he doesn't, he used to meet with Tom Brady each week and go over the game plan. He doesn't do that with Mac Jones.
You don't do that.
I think Tom Brady or Bill Belichick has lost a certain stuff about himself. Let's not get it twisted. We're not Patriots fans. If you're listening, we're not saying Bill Belichick's not probably the greatest coach of all time.
He's probably the greatest coach ever.
The greatest coach of all time in sports history. Like, he's done a phenomenal job for 20 years. The success he's had. The defenses he's built have been insane. I mean, early on in Tom Brady's career, those defenses he built and how to wait for Tom Brady to become Tom Brady. It was been insane. So Bill Belichick has been a Hall of Fame coach, but eventually you do lose your touch. So I think the Chiefs go into Foxborough and win that game in Week 15. And then these last 2 games are interesting to me. It's Week 17, New Year's Eve, Bengals, Chiefs, the 2 big dogs. 2 big dogs in the NFL.
They did this on purpose. They did this on purpose. They did this on purpose, man. They did this on purpose. What is everybody going to want to do New Year's Eve? We're going to want to party. And they did this to either break our spirits or keep us going ready for the playoffs. Hopefully by then, we can have the responsibility of resting players.
So hopefully the way we have this season break it down is the Chiefs would be 15-2 at this point, and all they would have to do is win these last 2 games. Because my thing is this last game is huge for the Chiefs Because if you win this game, because the Bills are gonna have a good season, the Bengals are gonna have a good season. But hopefully by then, the Ravens improving their wide receiver core can help us out and beat up on the Bengals a little bit by this point of the season. And it's not the Bengals whoever wins this game is ahead in the AFC. So hopefully that's a big factor in it. But the two big bad wolves, Kansas City Chiefs, finally close the demon and beat the Bengals in the regular season because I think they've closed the demon, but are they going to let the monkey on their back again? Are they going to kind of let the monkey on their back and let the Bengals creep back in, or do they slam the door shut and finally fully kind of get over this hump of the Bengals?
Well, last season I would kind of agree with you about the hump thing, but I don't really care that the Bengals beat us so many times in the season.
Right.
Really matter. Like, you keep losing it to us in the playoffs, so I'd rather keep that the tradition. Actually, this might be a game we could lose. I want that narrative to be put out there. The Bengals can beat the Chiefs in the season. Like, they actually have people who wear shirts that say we're 3-0 against Mahomes. Listen to that for a second.
I mean, some people say 3-1, which doesn't make sense to me.
Which doesn't make sense. But put that in perspective for you. Y'all are so starving for a real dub. Your dub is beating our quarterback. Not winning the division, not AFC championships. We beat Mahomes 3 times once. That's great. You had a Super Bowl opportunity. You couldn't even score 14 points, but you beat Mahomes once.
Right.
I mean, pretty much him and Kelsey are laughing at you, wearing rings, plural. But, y'all beat us one time. Smoked a cigar for that. It's over. Then you paid him, and you still haven't paid Chase. I don't know what they're doing with this. I don't know where they're going.
And I do want to get in the Bengals real quick before we wrap this show up because there's a lot of Bengals fans that keep up with the show and keep up with the podcast. What are the Bengals doing? Do you think it's a smart idea going into next season? You still have to re-sign Joe Burrow. You have to re-sign Jamar Chase next season because he's going to go into his final contract this season after that.
Right.
This is the final contract after this season with T. Higgins. Can they bring back all 3 of those guys on big-time deals? Because let's be honest, Jalen Hurts helped the Kansas City Chiefs out a lot this offseason, signing that $61 million deal. For all you Bengals fans out there who think Joe Burrow doesn't care about that and doesn't want to be the highest-paid quarterback or doesn't want to get paid close to that money, even if he gets paid $50 million a year, that's a lot of money. You're not going to be able to pay T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and pay a defense all that money. So what do you think they do? Do you think they're going to have to figure out a trade for T. Higgins and try to bring in other talent? Do you think that Joe Burrow is going to have to sign a Mahomes-like deal and spread the money out? What do you think the Bengals do to try to keep this nucleus of the team?
I agree with you on that. They're going to have to sell Higgins. They got to do something. You can't pay all 3 of them. Paying all 3 of them and literally ensure you having the worst seasons you could possibly have with some of the best talent you've ever seen. That's all you can.
It's going to affect the rest of the team.
Yeah. There's a little thing I like to tell people, especially being who I am and doing my videos about football and all. A football player can only go for 2 things in this business: fame or glory. Or money or the fame. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm saying it backwards. Money or the glory. You know what I mean? Like, you either want to go for rings or you want to go for checks. Which one are you going for? And if they pay all 3, they're going for checks. Mahomes is taking his deals because he wants the glory. Every real champion, every person who has the passion for the game will sacrifice. Every real quarterback has done it. Brady's done it. Favre's done it. Mahomes is still doing it. Right. All the best do it. All the smart ones do it. Roethlisberger's even done it. Like, you have to sacrifice for wins. And I get it. Jamar Chase is out of this world. the way he catch all that kind of stuff, the opportunity. If they really want to be serious winning, you better hear a contract signed. And I'm not talking next season. I'm talking now. Because if you wait and they actually have a good season, AFC, even if they don't do AFC Championship, as long as they playoff bound, you don't pay them, you're going to pay for it. One way or the other.
I mean, look at Tyreek Hill. I mean, if you don't get those things figured out, those guys will say they want to go elsewhere where a team will pay them. And sometimes that's the best move for your team is you have to look at a T. Higgins and say, what are the value we can get on? Can we get 10, 12 draft picks from those guys? Even a Jamar Chase. Do we stick with T. Higgins and trade a guy like Jamar Chase and go for the 10 wins if you're not able to get a contract done in the next 2 years? And again, they should pay Joe Burrow. It's Joe Burrow. He's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. So you have to play Joe Burrow. But going back to this game, I think it's going to be a good game. I just think New Year's Eve in Kansas City, we know the history between these two teams. We know what they've called Barrowhead. I think the Chiefs are still going to have a little bit of that taste in their mouth. Orlando Brown went over to those guys. There's going to be that aspect.
Now we're really going to get sacks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, you got Orlando Brown up there. We can find a good speed rusher over there. We know his big butt is not going to want to move his feet at all. So you have that going for you. So I think the Chiefs pull it out in a very, very close game, maybe another Butker type game. And they pull it out. What do you think? Do the Chiefs win this game or they fall to the Bengals?
No, we win this one. It's New Year's Eve at Kansas City. It's time to party.
Right.
Mahomes don't want to. No, he's going to play his butt off because he's going to know he's going to want to party after this game. Him and Kelsey.
Yep, that's true. I was going to say he wants to party after this.
They're going to want to party after this
Kelsey,
game.
this may be a big Kelsey game. We know him. He's a party animal.
Oh, yeah. They're going to go and look. They're going to go in the Bengals side of the locker room, take Burrow's cigars, and just go home and light them. I'm so serious. We're going to put the Chiefs. This is look. Every year I have an exaggeration game, like a game I think we're going to barely win, but in my mind I exaggerate that we're going to win by a whole lot. This is the exaggeration game because we're going to win this one by 13.
Sure, I like it. He's feeling confident, folks. I like it. The Chiefs go out there New Year's Eve, take care of business. I mean, if again in that AFC Championship game, they were up early. They just didn't take care of business at certain times. If they can capitalize on the turnovers like they didn't do in the AFC Championship game, they could win big against the Bengals, exploit that offensive line. Excuse me. Last game of the season before we wrap it up is Week 18 versus the Chargers. My 2 things about this game is, are the Chiefs playing their starters or aren't they playing their starters? So my thing is, this could be the season where we look up and the Chargers beat us twice because we didn't play our players at the last game of the season because the Chiefs already have the 1 seed wrapped up because they could be 16-2 at this point with their 2 losses being the Chargers and the Bills, which we have here. But if they're, 12, if they have 12 wins or 13 wins and they still need another win, then you could see the starters out there for most of the game. But I think this is honestly a game where the Chiefs have their starters rested. So this could be a game where they fall again, or it's just kind of a game where we sit there and say, you know what, we already have the AFC West wrapped up. We already have a majority of these games wrapped up. We're just going to let our starters sit there and rest. And this is the Blaine Gabbert or Shane Buechele game. And they throw them out there. Unless our starters are out there, they do need this game to close it out. Do you think the Chiefs will have it wrapped up by then and the bench players are in there? Or what's your thoughts on this last game of the season?
I truly hope that Patrick Mahomes will be too, just like I said last year, I hope that Patrick Mahomes will be too busy to do something like a Pro Bowl because, you'll be too busy resting up. Yeah. And hopefully by then we will be up. But if we do win this, we do have to play him. We might even play him for a warm-up. Who knows?
Right.
Patrick Mahomes is nutty like that sometimes. But seeing that who are we dealing with and these, this team wouldn't want us to enjoy our season clean. I feel like they're going to do everything in their power to slow us down. And I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully, our record will be so high by then that it won't matter if we win
Right.
or lose. But hell, this might be that one we lose. This might be that trap game people worried about. I feel like we're gonna win
Yeah,
so much
after a
that
big game like the Bengals, because that's the thing.
yeah,
Some of these games, are going to be those type of trap games because you're coming off of the big bad Bengals, where
yeah.
you're trying to play game New Year's Eve. It's going to be electric. It's going to be all over NFL
They're gonna
Network
use
all
all
week
their energy
long.
for that New Year's Eve game. I forget they had to play a game to play next week. Somebody's gonna tell them, like, we extended the season, right? Really? I thought it was 16 games. No, it's 17 now. So
Yeah. So
you
and
should have
then that's one
prepared
of
for
those
it.
things. If they play their starters or not, I think they'll do one of a 50-50 games. But honestly, I see the Chiefs. My final prediction on this season is going 15-2 or 14-3. There's always a fluke game in there. There's always a
Yeah,
fluke game in there. But my two losses I only really seen happen is they were splitting either with the Chargers and then that game versus Buffalo because they always play us tough in the regular season. But the tough games for me are going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Chargers, the Bills, and Bengals. So those are my five
yeah.
games to watch in tough games. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section of how you guys think the season's going to wrap up. What do you guys think the toughest games are going to be? But Shawn, what's your final prediction on the Chiefs this season? Are you still sticking with what we have on the season, the Chiefs going 15-2, or do you have it going undefeated? What do you have the Chiefs going on this
Honestly, I
season?
think I think we should be 14-3 just to be humble
Right,
and,
right,
and
exactly.
know that we're not infallible. We're not. I don't want the pressure of an undefeated season, man. If you're so
No,
worried about how many losses you don't get, you're gonna forget about the wins that matter. So
right,
I feel like we're gonna be 14-3. It's just
yeah.
some things are just like you said, some circumstances the Chiefs are just not gonna either be ready for or not just prepared for.
And again, there's a lot of traps games you can see on here. Again, even the Raiders after the
Yeah,
Eagles game, it's a trap game. You have again the teams like if you beat a Bills team the week after playing the Patriots. If you beat a Bengals team that week 18, are they playing their starters? Or even if they are, the Chargers are going to be thinking we don't want to get swept by the Chiefs if it comes to that point of the season. So I think 14-3 or 15-2 is a
yeah.
very
I'm going
realistic.
14-3 for sure.
14-3 is very realistic for the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me know what you guys think on the comment section below. Before we get out of here, let everyone know where they can find you on social media. We know you go to the tailgates and you do a lot of content for the Chiefs. You're always at the game. So make sure if you guys even see him at Chiefs games, you guys go up to him and you guys talk ball with him, get a picture with him because he makes great content. Where can people find you on social media?
Well, you can find me at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, obviously YouTube, all in the name Big Chief Shawn. I really appreciate it. Thank everybody for watching my content and whoever want to watch content. You can all find it under Big Chief Shawn. So just subscribe and watch to the channel, man. It's gonna hopefully be bigger and better next year. I have a goal trying to get to 10,000. I'm trying to be the biggest super fan out there. I'm trying to be that new voice for the Chiefs, man. A
There
lot of
you
dudes
go.
stepped up. A lot of dudes stepped up to the plate and failed. I know I can. I know I can get the home run. I'm using a baseball term for a football analogy, but
Yeah,
I'm that.
there you go. Well, Paul Rudd needs to look out because there's a new Chiefs super fan on the way.
That's
We
right.
know Kansas City's got a lot of Chiefs super fan, but we're looking at you to be the biggest Chiefs super fan. So yes, make sure you guys go to his social media. It's his YouTube. Got to subscribe to his YouTube. Go check it out. He
Thank
does
you.
great videos there. I know you did stuff with RGR in the past.
Yeah,
So
trying to.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So make sure you guys go check that out. I'm pretty sure he's going to be in a lot of those games, guys. He's going to be in a lot of those games. I should see you probably at either that Eagles or Bengals game for sure. Make
all
sure if you
right.
guys are Chiefs fan, you haven't been to Arrowhead, you guys go to a game, or if you're whatever city you are in, go support the Kansas City Chiefs this season. In Germany, if you guys want to go to that game as well. We're going to get out of here, guys. Signing off. Make sure you guys subscribe to the TPT podcast. We will see you guys next time on the TPT podcast.
Peace.